talk to one of the world's most toughest men or women at their most vulnerable. Whether it's a WWE superstar, the leader of the Hells Angels, the Mexican Mafia, a UFC superstar, or the head of the Navy SEALs JSOC team, the most interesting guests, having lived the largest lives, going deep behind the scenes, all the wild and crazy stories they've experienced in their lives and in their career. And then segueing to them facing down their biggest challenges. Did they hit rock bottom? If so, how did it happen? Are they still there? How did they get themselves out of it? What have they learned? It's stuff we all can relate to in our daily lives. Here at Talking Tough, we strive to be equal parts entertainment and inspiration. Please join us every Wednesday for Talking Tough at YouTube or at Launchpad One.
Hey, Rick Bassman here for Talking Tough. I'm pretty psyched about tonight's show because I have
it's Rick Bassman here for
very good friend on, who's a famous guy too, and he's charismatic. People love him, but we're to get back to him in a second. So I'm sitting here trying to be in a good mood. I always want to be in a good mood when I do these shows, and I'm packing because I have to leave my dogs to leave the country tomorrow for a week. So it's just one of those nights. I hate leaving my dogs. And I had to do a perspective check because we're here in our beautiful home back in Southern California, and I'm flying business class tomorrow to Portugal, which makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, I'm bragging a little about that. And it's a far cry to go to a beautiful resort to hang out with friends. It's going to be really cool. I'm going to a wedding and then on to Berlin for business. Really cool stuff. And it's a far, far cry from where I was 7 years ago, like on the streets and in pain, not able to walk and drug addicted and near death and all that. And I cannot believe that I was getting bummed out tonight about going to do what I have to do. So I'm telling myself to get over it. Life is good. We have our ups, we have our downs. My big downs are far behind me. My friend I have on tonight, this famous fella I alluded to a moment ago, absolutely had his shares of big high ups and some pretty freaking low downs. Super happy to say that he's in a better place now than I've ever seen him. And we've known each other for well over 20 years now. Now, I'm talking about a guy that on his birth certificate will say Eric Scott Esch. He's known far and wide and loved far and wide and idolized far and wide as Butterbean. This is a guy who came from really humble upbringing and background to go on and beat the world, and without trying to make himself popular. He's the last guy that ever do that. Became one of the most loved people in the history of any of combat sports. He had a big crash. We'll talk about that. Now he is on his way back to the highest part of the mountain, I think. And we'll certainly talk about that as well. Like I said, a good friend for 20 years. Hell, one of my best friends, I would say, and an absolute world super heavyweight champion as a human being. My great friend, Eric Scott Esch, otherwise known as Butterbean.
How you doing, Rick?
Bean, wait. Where's Butterbean? Who's the skinny guy in front of the camera?
A lot of me just dwindled away.
Holy hell, man. Obviously, I knew that. But I think right now people are logging on and going, is that Fedor Emelianenko? It's who is that guy right there? You kind of look like Fedor now. That's awesome. Or he looks like you. Bean.
Yeah, I lost weight around 200 pounds. I'm trying to show you something, Rick. This is amazing. It's crazy, crazy, craziness. Let me see if I can show that.
Yeah, hold it up closer to the camera. Closer, closer, closer. Keep coming. Keep coming. Now we got it. Yep, there's Butterbean standing inside a pair of his old pants. And now those pants could fit 2+ of the current version of you, I think.
I'll get to him in there.
Wow. So Bean, you're down over 200 pounds, but let's talk about more than weight loss. A year and a half ago, maybe, you might want to correct my time, you were in a wheelchair, and I would characterize you as, you were thinking you were in a wheelchair for life. you were done.
Yeah, I didn't figure I'd be around another 2 more years. Yeah, I was seriously like in that, just accepting it, and that's just how life's going to be.
Yeah, I've never known you as a one to complain. We talk on the phone a lot, and it's like, "How you doing?" And in my mind, you go out of your way not to bitch and complain about things. But when I would talk to you, to be honest, it was more than a little sad because you'd be like, "Oh, whatever it was." Again, you weren't complaining, but I got the straight story from you. Now, when I talk to you on the phone, I feel like I'm talking to a kid, and I mean that like in the best way imaginable.
Can't get out of the car and go and buy a bottle of water, buy a Coke, or buy whatever you want to buy in the store. You can't walk in and just go grab it. You gotta grab a wheelchair and drive in there, and it changes your aspect on life big time.
Well, you're not only overweight, your hips were shot. You could barely stand, let alone walk. I would dare say that probably some depression came with that, and
Big time.
there wasn't a lot in life to like really hope for at that point. It seemed like.
No, I mean, and my grandkids, they never seen me walk. So I mean, when they finally see me walk, they're like, they run to my wife, Libby, Grandma, Papa can actually walk, which is crazy.
Great.
It's emotional.
That must have been a big moment, or a whole bunch of moments. I'll bet. I know you have a big family, which is great, and your family obviously, I assume obviously, must be very happy with the changes you made.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they haven't seen me in a while. I've been living in Atlanta with Dallas, DDP, working my butt off, getting in shape, and getting back at it.
All right, so you're in Atlanta. You're working with Diamond Dallas Page. You live in Alabama. Dallas lives in Georgia, so you're a little bit of ways. You're spending a lot of time with him. He obviously has played a big part in your resurrection, kind of like the resurrection of Jake the Snake. Now it's the resurrection of Eric Scott-Esch and Butterbean. But what was the catalyst that got you from overweight, near death, and depressed to changing your journey? What happened?
I just got to the point. So I'm gonna lose weight one way or another if I gotta starve myself. And I mean, I started, and then we were doing the podcast at Dallas on. He called me up. We worked out a diet plan. I stuck with it. And I was willing to try anything I could just to be able to walk. And if yoga and doing the ballet stuff was gonna work, I was gonna try it. I was gonna try anything, but it's not like you think. DDPY yoga is not like people think yoga is. Because you talked to me 5 years ago about doing it, and I said I ain't doing yoga.
Dude, I rode your ass for years. Yeah, it's a life fitness program for sure. And when you're in DDP's clutches, it's part head game too, but big part head game, but in a good way. He'll remake the whole of you. And I know as part of that, you started your journey with Diamond Dallas Page as part of a reality show. Are we allowed to talk about that here? I'm not even sure.
It's called Change or Die. There was 5 of us. Some of us ended up doing really good at it. Some of us done great until they left and got back on their own.
And it was about essentially,
but yeah, I mean, if you're willing to do something, if you have discipline to doing something, you accomplish anything. And that's why I decided I wanted to have one last fight.
All right. Now people are going, what the fuck? What did he just say? All right. Because that's the first mention of that. Now, look, you and I talk all the time, so I can't pretend I'm surprised. I know the drill. But let's think about this, man. Your descent into hell, if you will, is pretty well chronicled. People know.
I was there.
People know how low you went, and now they're going, he's gonna fight? What? First of all, so you're about 295 pounds now, is that right?
Roughly 295.
All right. How old are you?
57. I've never. Okay, first of all, the lowest pant size I've ever been in is a 44, and they were really tight. And I got into them for a week. And after that week, I never seen a 44 again.
And you went up to how big?
For a while, up to a 68,
All
but
right.
never a 44. Right now,
And
I'm wearing a 42, and they're loose. I'm gonna have to get a 40.
That's nuts, man. Wow, you're gonna be like a model for Levi's before we know it. That's gonna be your next. that might be your next.
Walk into the regular store and buy blue jeans.
So let's set this up on fighting. So everyone knows Butterbean the fighter. You've had dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of fights, hundreds in your career with Tough Man, with boxing, with mixed martial arts, with kickboxing, with pro wrestling. You've done it all. You even pro wrestled. I mean, you put your body through it. That's even sumo wrestling, which is no joke. It's not easy. So over 500 pounds, hundreds of fights, 56 years old when you start your journey back. Did you think when you first went to Atlanta, Georgia to meet Dallas for the first time about starting this resurrection that you might ever fight again? Was that like even a possibility? Was it a spark?
Wasn't even in my mind until about halfway through. I mean, this is awesome. And then after I had my hip replacement, I'm saying it's doable. And then I had my second hip replacement, and I started getting mobile, and I'm like, it's definitely going to happen. And it's not for nothing but to prove to myself, if you have discipline and you want to do something, you can do it.
Hallelujah, man. That's the bottom line to everything, isn't it? No matter how far you've fallen.
I mean, getting up at, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, go hitting the gym and doing cardio is not always fun. But if you want to accomplish something, you got to get up early and you got to get your butt to work. I'm working out 3 to 4 times every day.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta with you a month ago. Spent a few days with you and Dallas Page, and Buff is the stuff Bagwell. We can talk about him too in a minute if you want or not. It's all right. And of course Josh there.
Knee replacement, but yeah, he's doing all right.
Cool. And of course Josh Nair, your amazing trainer. And so much. Yeah, and it blew me away. It's like, how many times a day is this guy going to work out? Holy cow, you are on it, man. And and I appreciate you saying you could do anything you set your mind to, but I have to keep, and I know I'm being repetitive now, I keep thinking about what you looked like on paper a year and a half ago with your weight, your broken body, with your mindset, the whole nine. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's a 360 without a doubt. I mean, I was inducted in the Alabama Hall of Fame about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I was too ashamed I didn't even go. Being inducted in the Hall of Fame and not going, but I'm getting I'm thinking it's Rockford. Where's that, Phil? Rochester, New York. I'm getting inducted in the Hall of Fame the 28th of this month.
And you'll be there, I'll bet.
Well, I'm definitely going to be there with bells on.
Nice.
Smiling, walking up.
That's great, man. That's great. So, Bean, let's talk the fighting game for a second. I'm talking tough. I like to talk about the deep, dark stuff and how you came out of it. Maybe we'll get back to that. Maybe we'll save that for another time. Let's talk about Butterbean fighting at 57 years of age. Now, we know you kickboxed. We know that you have done mixed martial arts. We're talking boxing now. Is that correct? What you're known and
the doctors don't want me doing no MMA because of my hips.
Okay.
The last surgery was Christmas, and man, they healed up so fast. I'm healing quicker and everything now that I'm. Matter of fact, I was taking 5 shots of insulin a day and 2 pills. 5 shots of insulin and 2 pills, and that's just to keep my sugar kind of controlled. Right now, I'm not taking absolutely anything for blood pressure, sugar, anything. I don't, just by diet, I'm not on nothing, no drugs, like nothing.
Well, you don't have to be because you're healthy, man. It's amazing, right? You're
I'm in
healthy.
better
And
shape right now. I'm in better shape than I was in any of my fights, even the early on fights. I'm in better shape now than any of them.
yeah, I know that. I believe it. And and I think that's an important thing to focus on for a second. And here's why. I have no doubt in my mind you're going to end up having a very, very high profile fight. The right television carrier, whoever it is, the right pay per view outlet, the right promoter, whether it be a UFC, a WWE, a Bob Arum, once they get a hold of this and they understand it, it's going to be a big fight. Now, I think it's important to talk about the shape you're in because you have to think big fight means big name opponent. And if
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
don't it's not going to be an exhibition fight. I've had some people, oh, so it's going to be an exhibition. I said, no, it's not going to be no old timers exhibition. It's going to be a fight.
yeah,
10 rounds.
you're ready to go. You're ready to go. And
If they want to give me a title shot and go 12, I'm game for that.
And you're hitting the nail on the head because here's what I was going to say. And I have to say it because people are going to think it. They're going to like, why would a big name fighter risk a fight against Butterbean when he was in this horrible shape? And they're going to say, what's the win? If I win, of course I'm supposed to win. If I lose, I'm embarrassed. I would say this, it's time for you to serve notice on the world that you are in the best shape of your career and you're more fired up than you've ever been before. And you're training like a son of a bitch. I've never seen, I cornered for you for 12 fights, I think. I can't ever remember you training, man. I know you're training now.
Well, I'm working hard.
All right. So who do you want to fight?
There's several people I would love to fight. There's a loudmouth YouTuber, Jake Paul, that had some really nasty comments about me early on in his career.
Okay.
I mean, he's 10, 12 pounds away from being a heavyweight. Love to fight him. Would love to. I don't think he would take the fight. I really don't.
I don't think Jake Paul will fight you because first of all, it's well known he doesn't want to fight people he thinks he could lose to, but he'll pull the card of, you got to think about who's going to make the match also, who will do it. His brother won't do it, I don't think. But the Pauls would be great. Both Pauls in one night would be great.
People I'm very interested in fighting.
Who else? Mike Tyson.
Everybody wanted to see is Tyson.
Yep.
Everybody's going to see me in Tyson, and I would love to fight Mike. Mike would be right there. He's not going to be afraid of me, which he should be. He's not going to be. It'd be a great fight.
Why should he be afraid of you?
I've always had power, and I got a great chin. I mean, there's two things he does not do good against, and I'm not going to be afraid of him.
Yep.
He does not do good against people that's not afraid of him. He's always relied on somebody being terrified of him. I'm not afraid of him.
Oh, yeah. And that intimidation factor is second to none in the history of the sport. So, Bean, if you fought Mike Tyson, if Mike Tyson took the fight, could you beat him?
I would knock him out.
Wow. All right. That's a big – he looked good against Roy Jones. You saw that fight, right?
That was a joke.
Roy was not up to snuff. Mike looked pretty good.
Mike looks great. And that's what I'm counting on, him having confidence coming there and try to fight. Try to get in close with me. Because Mike's an inside guy like I am. I can handle his punches. I can handle mine.
What round do you think it would go down in?
I don't know, maybe sixth, seventh round.
Wow. And you definitely could do 6 or 7 rounds now at a good pace, which is
12. I just got in hitting the bag hard for 10 rounds, and we've done cardio right before that. So
amazing.
The condition is not going to be a factor.
So Mike Tyson, if you're listening, I don't know that you said you're challenging him, but it sounds like there's a challenge on the board for Iron Mike.
The challenge has been open for a long time, and I mean, I'd love to fight Tyson.
I think a lot of people would love to see that fight, and I think there's one other that you think is an interesting fight.
A lot of people mentioned, and You know, I've thought about it. I think it'd be a great fight also as Brock Lesnar in a boxing match.
Yep.
He's big, strong. I mean, it'd be two big dudes going at it heavy.
I think, in my humble opinion, as a promoter, former promoter, I think that's the fight. I really do. Brock would think he could beat you. I would hope he would think that. He's a confident guy.
I'm gonna hope. Yeah, I hope he thinks he can beat me. That's great.
Yeah, I think you would beat him, but I don't by any means think that it's a walkover at all. I think that's a real fight.
It'd be a hard fight. I'm not disputing that. And the good thing about it, you're gonna have the boxing fans come to watch it. You're gonna have the MMA fans watch it, and you're gonna have the wrestling fans. And I've done all three, and he's done all three.
It makes all the sense in the world. I could see it on a poster. I think you and Tyson would be huge. I think you and Brock would be bigger. And if I were buying a ticket, I'd buy a ticket for that, you and Brock Lesnar, before I would for you and Mike Tyson. I'd buy both, but I like that Brock fight. It's something cool about it.
I think it'd just be two big guys going out banging.
Two big.
He's bigger and stronger, but the technique comes in factor too. So that'd be a really good fight.
Like you said, two big guys going out, but two big famous guys who have huge fan bases, who have great stories. You know who could tell that story? I know Bob Arum is a friend of yours. Bob Arum's a great promoter. You know who I think could tell this story, though? TKO, as they're trading on the New York Stock Exchange. The new company that's UFC and WWE combined. Vince McMahon and Dana White. Dude, Vince and Dana promoting Butterbean versus Brock. There's just something about that, man.
That'd be a great fight.
That'd be a good one. Well, let's hope, man. The world, there's a lot of guys now, man, taking shots at these comeback fights. A dear friend of mine, a friend of yours, Mark Coleman, and I love Mark, and I admire Mark for what he's done, how he's turned his life around. But I think there's some people that just need to be careful out there. Like, I wouldn't want to put Mark, and Mark, I'll respect you if you see this, I wouldn't want to put Mark in a fight against Mike Tyson. I don't think that'd be a good idea. I wouldn't want to put Mark in a fight against you. I think that'd be a very bad idea. What is it about the appeal of iconic people? And Mark Coleman is an icon, first UFC heavyweight champion ever. What is it now about iconic combat fighters coming back to do these big fights later in their lives? Why is that such a thing now? Why is that working?
I think I'm different than them. I think they're missing the heyday. Me, I've overcome obstacles just to get where I'm at. And I've really pushed and exceeded to put myself way above where I ever have been. And I want to show the newbie, before I fought 4-round fights, because that's probably all I could do. Now 4 rounds is nothing. I mean, that's like just getting me warmed up. I'm thinking 10, 12 rounds. I'm ready to go.
Dude, friend to friend, it is so good to see you like this, man. I'm just like thrilled every time I hear you in the place that you are now. I couldn't be happier.
Not long ago, I seen your face like, holy shit, he's walking just fine. Like, I mean, you've seen me prior, so I mean, you know the shape I was in, and then just to where I was to where I am now. That's a movie. If a movie ever is made, that's a serious movie, because nobody would ever believe it. Once the Dallas' Show Change or Die come out, people will say, "Holy cow," because they'll really see where I was.
I saw the sizzle reel, and I had like the visual in my head of you essentially hobbling into his house on 2 canes. Barely able to even get up on the canes for a minute. And you couldn't get up and down off that sofa without a fight, man. Oh, my God.
And it was really I heard Dallas on something, they go, he was saying, holy shit, I didn't realize Bean was in that bad of shape, that bad of condition. He goes, I don't know if I can fix that.
Dude, he called me that first week. Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
we did it. It was a mutual effort. I mean, if I didn't have the gumption to get up and do what I did, and he didn't have the knowledge to tell me what to do, it never would have happened.
Yeah, it was a perfect storm, as they say, a winning combination. Well, I mean, I for one couldn't be happier for you, and I'm so glad to see you happy in life again, happier than I've known you actually.
I'm not joking. I even called Murray, my old trainer, and talked to him, and I apologize. I go, Murray, I wish I had put the effort back then as I am now. I mean, I apologize to him. I go, man, I kind of feel like I let y'all down, not putting this much effort, because I'm serious. I'm in better shape now than I ever have been. Like, I'm definitely a force to be reckoned with right now.
That's nuts. So you went from near death to getting ready to knock out Mike Tyson and believing you can do it. That is a hell of a transformation. It's a hell of a transformation. There were people you said on the show that didn't make it, and this is not about who they were, but or who they are. But why is it that some people that are in such a bad spot don't make it out to the other side like you did?
Yeah, when they left, they were in unbelievable change. But some people just don't keep doing what they know they should do. And it's not hard to keep doing what you know you should do. Some people just want to give up in life, and as long as somebody's there babysitting them, they're okay. But you let them on their own for a little bit, and it ain't good.
I hear you. I've fought that my whole adult life. You know my story. I've been near death so many times, and on my own in some pretty pathetic circumstances. I've always managed somehow to have the resilience to do enough to get out of that spot and start to come back. But then I kind of get lazy or complacent, and I don't keep pushing it. And I see you, and it's such an example, and it's a great reminder to me that it's never too late. I've got 4 years on you, age-wise. It's never too late to make that big leap up. I know it sounds cliche to say that, but I believe that. Do you?
I'm with you right there. I mean, I'm just happy to be where I'm at. I mean, I'm just like, right now, this whole experience gives me another 30, 40 years at least. I mean, where I thought it, honestly, I didn't believe I'd be around this time. When 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd still be here. I mean, that's how bad I just had that, just give up almost.
Yeah. Kind of just ready to call it a day, huh? And how does it?
The knowledge that I didn't have helped me get over the hump to say, I'm on the roller coaster. I went up, now I'm getting a slide. And it's just getting better.
That's amazing, man. There's got to be a lot of people out there that will listen to this and go, yeah, I'm done. I got nothing left. Just where you were not that long ago. Can you, if you could go back in a time machine right now and talk to the 500-pound you of 2 years ago who was done, what would you tell that guy?
Well, the 500-pound guy probably laughed his ass off at me because thinking I'm full of shit.
Right.
But
right.
That's what life's all about. If you don't make a change, you're never gonna. If you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna stay right where you're at. I made that decision. I'm gonna change no matter what I had to do. I'm gonna make it, because I got grandkids I want to see grow up. I got 10 of them. And for example, I just went to the Jelly Roll concert, got to meet him, super guy. And on stage, not only did he sing some amazing songs, he basically told people that where he was, where he's been. He's a drug dealer to being in jail to no hope. But if you got the determination and drive, you can accomplish anything. And now he's only a music singer to ever be on #1 in the country and rock and roll in the same time. #1 at the same time. Never been done before. So if he can accomplish that, anybody else can do the same thing. You just got to have the willpower and want to do it.
Yep.
And that kind of touched me because that's where I was at. You know, if you don't have the willpower to do it, you're not going to do it. And I believe me, I got the willpower to do it. I am actually stronger now, hitting harder than I've ever hit before.
Yeah, I saw you hitting that heavy bag. Yeah, that was brutal, man. Well, I guess Mike Tyson or Brock Lesnar are about to find out because we know that Jake Paul is not going to find out, right, Jake?
He's terrified. He don't want to get knocked out. He's scared. I'm not knocking him. I mean, it'd be a smart move not to fight me. It'd be a hey, if you want to eat your crow and fight somebody that you said that not able to fight, but yeah, that'd be a great fight.
Agree.
Going.
I'm a big fan of the Paul brothers, actually. I think they're, apart from being pretty cool, I'm a fan of what they built for themselves and the fact that they're not all talk. They are pretty skilled guys. But I have to say, smart money.
He's getting a lot better.
Yep.
But he needs to eventually fight. If he's going to box, he needs to box just boxers, not MMA guys in a boxing match.
Yep. Well, what I was about to say, and you just pretty much put the coda on it for me, which was, as much of a fan of theirs that I am, I also recognize that they're businessmen, and in their brains, I believe they would think it'd be a bad business move to fight Butterbean. But I say, guys, open up to the challenge, man. Let's see what you got. It'll be a big box office, guys, and we know they care about box office.
I guarantee it'd be the biggest sell out of all their fights yet. If me and him fought, he wouldn't get a bigger ticket sale, bigger pay-per-view buy. It'd be the biggest.
And well, and he's a good promoter. He would know how to promote that too. Just, maybe not at the level of Vince McMahon and Dana White, but Jake Paul's no slouch in that department either. So it's another good one for sure. So Bean, you're 57.
Now, Tyson Fury fight this Dante Williams. I'd love to fight him. I just don't see nothing there. I'm sorry. I don't know how he's got the title still.
Tyson
and Dante, Fury. He's from Alabama. Like, I don't care for him. I don't see no power there whatsoever. I would walk right through.
Dante Williams. Isn't Tyson Fury fighting Francis Ngannou coming up?
No, Tyson Fury fought Dante Wilder.
Wilder. Yeah.
Dante Wilder, I'm sorry. Dante Wilder knocked him down, which I don't see how. I don't see how Dante Wilder even thinks he has
You texted me that you're running bleachers. I must have told 20 people that, because I'm like, I'd never imagined that I would get that message from you, that you were running bleachers. It's like an impossible comeback. But the beauty is, these comebacks happen every day all around the world. Most people aren't famous like yourself or like Jelly Roll, but everyday people that don't have anything at their disposal can find this, like, somehow, whatever it takes, a desire, as you're saying, and they go. And then I just think you're like the greatest.
A little bit of discipline is all it takes.
A little what? I'm sorry.
And willpower. You gotta want to do something. You gotta do
it. And stick to it. Yes. So what are you most excited about in life right now? We know you have this fight coming up or a fight that you're gonna have coming up. You're excited about that. Obviously, your health. What else is exciting in life?
What more to be excited about? Living longer. I mean, healthier. I mean, I get to it's awesome. I mean, just to be able to do stuff like go to the Jelly Roll concert, or be able to, get up and walk and go in. I mean, I can never done that before. To go to the Rochester Hall of Fame and walk in.
Stand up on the stage with your buddy Johnny Knoxville for the Family Feud.
Exactly.
Right. Dude, Johnny's got to be in you could put a hell of a corner together for your fight. Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny will be there.
Jelly
Roll will be there. It's gonna be I'll have a serious corner. All good friends.
That's a good one. Jelly Roll singing Sweet Home Alabama for your entrance song.
It'd be awesome.
Oh man, I see it. And I love your smile when you think about this stuff, man. It's pretty cool. So I know we talked about.
It's not just a dream. I'm seeing it happen. It's close. You can taste it. I almost taste it. I mean, because it's to where I come from to where I am now. It's a story in itself.
I have no doubt it's going to happen. And not only that, you're going to have a huge fight with a major name, but that the backstory behind it is going to find its own audience through its own medium. Like you talked about, a movie, whatever it might be. I think at 57, dude, I think your career is just starting. I really believe that.
Yeah, right now I want to do one just to prove to myself and to prove to everybody else that if you want to do something, you have determination, you can do it. And that's my drive right now. I mean, I'm working my butt off every day just to do it. I mean, not just a little bit. I mean, I'm 3 to 4 times every day.
So if you want to do something, you can do it. I think that's a great place for us to wrap up. We talked before. We both know we have to go early tonight, but maybe we should round up our old running buddies like Bassman and do another one of these sometime soon.
That'd be great.
Let's do it, man. Bean, it's always so great to see you.
Boss has this punching bag system out that I got one. I'm telling you what, I use, Boss uses it for the outside kicks and all this. I use it for the inside work. It works great for your body, uppercut. I'm telling you what, that device alone is going to help me on the inside a lot.
Yeah, I've seen it in your training studio there, and it's oddly enough called BOSS, B-A-S, Body Action System. That's Boss's deal. And Bean, you're doing a lot in the commercial world now also. You're creating stuff. You're about to patent some items. I know that. If people want to check in, and you have a new career as a TikToker. I mean, who the hell would think Butterbean would be exploding on TikTok, right? Where can
TikTok? I enjoy it.
You love doing TikTok, right?
Good. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Where can people follow you, connect with you, check in on what you're doing?
Well, on TikTok, it's Butterbean King of 4, or you punch in Butterbean King, and I have a blue check. The blue check means that's who I am. I mean, the blue check on TikTok is not easy to get. I do have an Instagram. I don't check it that much. I have a Facebook also. It's Butterbean Eric Esch. Or Eric Butterbean has something. You'll figure it out. It's me.
All right. And let's see so Instagram, you're on TikTok. That's where you check in on Butterbean. Everyone follow this guy.
And I'll show you my Facebook. That way you can get it right. That way I don't mess it up. It's Butterbean Eric Ash. Right there. It'll have me and Will Smith. Hold on. That messed up. There we go.
Butterbean Eric Esch on Facebook. TikTok again is Butterbean which?
Butterbean King of 4.
Okay, Butterbean King of 4, the number 4, right?
Yeah, Butterbean King of 4.
That's you on TikTok. Guys, he's got some great videos on there. Go check them out. Bean, you know, I think you've said it all. You've come back from the abyss. You're on top of the world. I don't want to hear myself talk anymore. Why don't you wrap us up for the night and take us home with like a big word of talking tough wisdom?
I'm telling you what, the most important thing that I found with life is let everybody else you know tell them you love them. I mean, it's really important because you don't know how short life's going to be. It's very important to tell people you love them. Hey, Rick, man, I love you. I always have, my friend.
I love you, Bean. You're one of my best friends, man, and it's a pleasure. So good to see you as always.
Tell your family you love them. It's important. They want to hear it.